Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
What's up, everyone? It's Paulie. You've seen me on Big Brother, X on the Beach, and The Challenge. Honestly, I was never interested in getting into reality TV. I was spotted and recruited. So it just happened to end up on reality TV by happenstance. Yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of Big Brother and The Challenge and all that stuff, but I had no interest in being on those shows. I just always thought that I would do well if I was ever on them, but never felt the need to apply. You know, I've been a high-level athlete my whole life, so I mean, like, if I could handle playing in like Division I, NCAA games and MLS games, I mean, walking into a Big Brother house, that's like easy money right there. And, you know, the first thing that you think to yourself when you go into anything is if you try and compare yourself to anybody else, you're going to fail. So I just wanted to go in there and I wanted to play my own kind of game. I wanted to start my own kind of clearly my brother and I are two very different players, and that was shown. And if I was thinking about anything that my brother was able to accomplish, probably wouldn't even made it as far as it did. Oh, I mean, if we were in the house together, I think we'd be on the block every week together, you know, and unless one of us kept winning the HOH in a, you know, not in a, you know, one passes off the other and a veto thing. But if we ever played on, like, let's say a show like The Challenge together, it's a completely different dynamic. You can't just be voted out. People have to beat you in an elimination. So we're just two different people. Cody would probably be putting out the fires that I'd be starting all over the place because I like to start fires and just watch everything burn to the ground. How small the house is. It looks way bigger on television because camera angles and all that stuff, but it is a very, very tiny house, and you can understand why people get crazy claustrophobic and anxiety being in there, because you don't have the access to the outdoor space for like 4 days of the week while they're building the competitions in the backyard. So when that sliding glass door shuts and is locked, you're in this very, very, very tiny house that's not even really a house. It's like a studio lot. My favorite memory was probably when we all did that night where we created dances. So like there's like a group of girls that created dances and a group of guys that created dances. I kind of feel like there should be like more of that on a regular basis in the Big Brother house. You know, obviously there's a game that's going on and people get offended by that, but I think people should go into it with like a little bit more of a, you know, fun mindset. Like not everything's so personal. I mean, didn't really change much other than more people recognized me when I was out, you know, and I had a bigger platform to do things. So once you have that, I feel like you ultimately have like a responsibility to try and do something with it. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people go on reality TV because they just want to be famous and they just want to be able to act the way celebrities do, where it's like, hey, good morning, everybody. Ooh, just walk to the living room, LOL. You know, and I feel like it's like this constant thirst and need for instant gratification. For me, I've always had this idea of like trying to make impactful, positive change to the world. So I was already on that path prior to going on reality TV, and I just kind of continued that path once I got on reality TV, and I just continued to use my platform in that regard. I've got a good relationship with everybody from the house. The only person that I really haven't spoken to is Bridget. That's it. But like Devon and I mended our relationship. We've done 2 seasons of the challenge together. Natalie and I mended our relationship. We also have done 2 seasons of the challenge together. Tiffany and I talk every now and then. Michelle and I talk every now and then. I mean, I guess I don't really talk to Paul and James, but you know, that's because they're a little bit. Now, considering like the whole house hated me at one point, minus Corey and Nicole, I think it's pretty good to say that 12 out of the 16 people I talk to, or 11 out of the 16, I don't know, one of those. All I'm saying is it's more people I talk to than not talk to. An interesting question, only because I give a lot of credit to people that go back on Big Brother, because it's mentally draining, and I'm just at like a really good space in my life, and going and doing the challenges are way less mentally draining than like something like Big Brother is. Like, people don't realize that when you go away on Big Brother, you're kind of messed up for like an entire year after the fact, and I mean, like, what would I change about my game? I mean, I don't know. Like, watch my seasons of the challenge. I made it to the end every time. So I clearly changed parts of my Big Brother game that didn't work and applied it to the challenge. From a competitive standpoint, from a political and strategic standpoint. I think if I went back, I honestly wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that I would change, because I'm so competitive. And I want to win everything so badly, and I don't really care who you are. Like, I don't care what gender you are. I don't care like what sexual orientation you are. I don't care what race you are. I'm gonna be in your face. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get in your head and win at all costs. I feel like winning games is 90% breaking down your opponents mentally and 10% performance. That's what they teach you in athletics. They teach you, if you can beat your opponent mentally, you'll win the game. So that's why athletes are so focused on their mentality training to make sure that they can mentally have the fortitude to outlast their opponents. But I would just go in, I'd have fun. I would try and make the live feeds entertaining. I would try and just be that wise ass all over the place and just kind of, stay under the radar as best I can. Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I was supposed to be on the challenge Vendettas, and then I hurt my ankle the night before I flew out. So they just kind of put me on X on the Beach as a filler thing, just to kind of be like, hey, we want to introduce you to the MTV world, and this is our way to do it. So that's kind of why I did that. If you watched it, you'll notice that I really didn't have much drama and all that stuff. Person that was on there, like, loosely defined term of an ex, so it was just kind of, that was just kind of like, hey, can I go away and vacation in Hawaii? Sure, seems fun, I'll do that. You want me to crack jokes in my interviews about people? I could do that too. I mean, I was already an athlete, so it was just a matter of adapting as soon as you got there. Mentally, I figured it was way easier than Big Brother, which it was. And as far as the contestants and stuff, I mean, MTV people aren't really known for their IQ, whereas like CBS people are kind of known for like because we don't just have to pass psych evaluations, we have to pass like intelligence tests, you know what I mean? Whereas like MTV, you don't. So it was just like interesting seeing how people are in there. It's definitely a big like gang mentality, mob mentality that a lot of the people that have been there for a long time have. And my main thing was to just go in there and shake that up and make them very scared for their positions in the game and very scared for their lives. And I think I've done a good job of doing both. I'd say the hardest one mentally was probably my first one, because I was stuck in the redemption house for so long. So it's like, how do you keep yourself mentally locked in for a long period of time and still keep you and your partner motivated and manifesting that you're going to make it out of the out of the redemption house and make a final. And a lot of my mentality coaching and a lot of my stuff that I do now, all those principles were derived from my history as an athlete, but also what I was capable of doing with Natalie on Final Reckoning, like how I was able to mentally prepare her to get excited for eliminations rather than fear them. How I kept us very mentally strong and mentally locked in the game every day, because those were very, very long days in the redemption house, and just keeping us always ready to be picked and just kind of being like, look, we're going to make it out of here. Like, we're going to make it out of here. Because we would see teams come in there and they'd be like, that's it, our game's over, we're done. And I would pull her aside and I'd be like, yeah, see what they're doing? They're weak. We got to get more excited, and we just got to do this, and we got to do that. And we ended up coming out, and we ended up, dominating that last part of the season. And if it wasn't for one mistake in the final, we go home with the title. I mean, I can't really talk about it too much. The only thing I'll say is the false narratives of a psych evaluation are 100% false. The people spreading that information, they're spreading it for a reason, because they're hiding up their own cowardice of what really happened, what really went down. There were some situations that happened the night before the reunion and the day of the reunion that ultimately sealed my fate with getting pulled off last minute. I think a lot of people got very scared knowing that it was an individual season, and I was very blatantly in people's faces saying, it's an individual season, you all have no chance. And when people get desperate, they throw up Hail Marys. And unfortunately, the Hail Mary worked, and I'm still being being punished for that mistake. And that's all I'll say about that. But if private medical information was released, there'd be a huge HIPAA lawsuit on Bunim and Viacom. And I can assure you all that there's no lawsuit, because all of those rumors of a failed psych evaluation were just a bunch of cowardly people spreading a false narrative about me, because they don't want to admit that they are scared of what I can do in a game, because nobody who's an enemy of mine outlasts me in a game, right? Maybe one will make it to the end if you're lucky, but I pick off everybody. And anybody who has said anything to slander my character in real life, well, I carry that into the game. And, you don't come into the game and get to shake my hand and smile in my face. So there will be a day where the sheep get eaten by the lion again. But for now, all the sheep get to run around and play, and the lion has to stay caged a little bit. But when the lion gets out of his cage, and you eventually have to let the lion out of its cage, all those sheep better make the decision to never come back to the show, or they better be ready to get embarrassed when I come back. I think he's playing a great game so far. It's always hard when you go into Big Brother, because you have an idea of who you would want to work with and the types of players you would want to work with. And right now he's in a good position, because he's in with a lot of people who win competitions. He's eliminating early threats to his game, and he's playing a very good social game. It's the same on Big Brother 16. People just bring information to him, because he's a very trustworthy person. He's very good socially, and he's also very good observing, right? So he's on the money with all of his reads. And the thing with Big Brother is, it's like you have to be very careful with who you pick off, because you have to pick off like a combination of like comp beasts who are like a threat to your game, but you also have to pick off social gamers who are a threat to your game. And you also have to do it in a way and win comps in a way that keep people from being like, oh my God, like how many comps has Cody won? Oh, he's won 2. Oh God, he's won 2 comps already. Man, now if all of a sudden he wins the next HOH, it's like, oh, he's won 3. Now more eyes start looking at him. Like, by the time all the eyes started looking at me, I had already won 5 competitions. And, I couldn't really hide at that point, so even that's when my friends like stabbed me in the back. So I think he's sitting in a really good position right now. It's just a matter of he's going to have to stab somebody in the back before the halfway point, or like right after the halfway point, if he wants to finish the game strong. So it's just a matter of who's he going to stab in the back, you know what I mean, of the alliance of comp beasts, right? Because the way it is right now, it's like all of them are looking everywhere else, but as those people start to get eliminated, they're all going to start to look at each other, and they're not going to look at each other once all those people are eliminated, right? They're going to start to look at each other while there's still like 1 or 2 of those people left, and be like, all right, yeah, like I know we're talking about this person, but now would be the perfect time to blindside or backdoor this person. There's a lot that goes into it, but he's sitting in a good position right now. So, when the decision got made to have me off of season 35, Total Madness, I'm not the type of person that's just going to sit around and cry and stomp my feet and then, wait for the next call to come. I'm going to go and I'm going to make moves happen. You know what I mean? So I said to myself, I was like, I've been putting off this online fitness brand for a long time now. I've had it in my head. I've been putting off a couple other business ideas for a long time now. So my brand is all about like awakening the lion and lioness within yourself. Really starting to open people's minds, and break them free of like this herd mentality, or this sheep mentality. So really training people to think for themselves, helping them not just physically transform themselves, like with the proper nutrition, the proper workouts, but the proper mentality, and applying it to their life, and really figuring out how to make them the most successful versions of who they are. So that's where I am with that. You know what I mean? And I started my own talent management business. I don't really put that out there because that's very secretive. My own real estate investment business, keep that secretive as well. I'm one of those people that's like hustle in silence, make moves in silence, and go. But the fitness brand, that's what I want to be like my main bread and butter brand of like what I want to accomplish in this life. And I've got a lot of really fun things in the works in terms of things that I'm in the process of training for, some things that I got going on. I really can't talk about those right now because once again, it's secretive. And but yeah, I'm all about like building your wealth in private. And if I can show people how I did it and give them a playbook on how to do it themselves, then that's my ultimate goal. I don't want to be one of those fitness people or like nutrition people or like mentality coaching people or life coaching people that's like, no, you need to be with me for life, because that is counterintuitive to like what you're actually supposed to be doing, right? I want my success rate with people to be like a 99%, so that it's like the quicker I can get you off and running by yourself, I did my job. Whereas I feel like a lot of fitness, nutrition, and life coaches, they try and keep people on for years, and they always are leaving them like kind of with a crutch, always feeling like they need them. And, to be honest, it's because they're all full, and they're not really good at what they do. So they need those people paying them because that's how they live their lifestyle and pretend that they're successful. That's just my opinion. And I want to be different than all those people.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.